from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league. Whether obviously we know she deserves it, but in their eyes, whether they think she deserves it or not, like she's being handed as the face of the league.
Watching Caitlin Clark feels like watching Larry Bird all over again.
When Michael Jordan puts your name in the same breath as Larry Bird, you're not just playing the game, you're redefining it. Caitlin Clark is doing just that, with razor-sharp vision, fearless creativity, and the rare ability to thrive under pressure. Clark isn't just shining on the court, she's transforming it. She's not only playing in the WNBA, she's helping elevate it to new heights. Everywhere she goes, seats are sold out. Social media flooded with jaw-dropping highlights. She's not just a player, she's the pulse of a new era, the spark igniting fresh passion for women's basketball. But being the face of change isn't easy. The spotlight is bright, and the noise around her is even louder. Critics, skeptics, and constant chatter trying to chip away at what she's building. Still, Clark doesn't flinch. Game after game, she shows up, she delivers, and she keeps reminding the world she's here to lead, to inspire, and to win. The WNBA has never seen a player quite like Caitlin Clark, and it shows. In this video, we're cutting past the headlines and digging into the real conversation. What are players saying? How are legends reacting? And what do fans and analysts truly think? Whether it's praise or pushback, one thing's undeniable. Caitlin Clark has the basketball world glued to every move she makes, much like Larry Bird. In his early days, Caitlin isn't just earning minutes, she's earning respect. Every single night. In Indiana, leadership goes beyond stats on a scoreboard. It's about presence, it's about impact, and nobody understands that better than Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers star has already embraced that role for his team and his city, and he sees those same qualities in Clark. As a fellow point guard, Halliburton gets it. He sees the pressure she's carrying, the spotlight she's navigating, and the way she keeps competing at the highest level no matter the noise. That's why when asked about Caitlin Clark, his message was simple, unwavering support.
Yeah, I think she's just so amazing what she does. I love being here to support her in any way I can, and I think we're just 2 point guards trying to lead our group to do something special. So any way I can be here to support, I'll be here.
It's just two floor general, recognizing the grind, respecting the hustle. Caitlin Clark isn't out here just trying to find her footing in the WNBA. She's already doing the hard work, running the offense, taking the hits, and lifting the Indiana Fever with her leadership and play. It's the same kind of blueprint Tyrese Halliburton has followed to elevate the Pacers. And the power of this moment, he sees it when one of the NBA's brightest young stars doesn't look down on you, but stands beside you. That's real recognition. Indiana doesn't just have one franchise leader. It has two, and sometimes the most meaningful stat isn't on a scoreboard. It's in who shows up beside you when the spotlight's burning hot. Now, enter Jason Whitlock, a voice known for his unfiltered takes. Say what you will about him. He's loud, opinionated, and never afraid to shake things up. But this time, he's pulling back the curtain on something many players won't admit publicly, what's really happening behind the scenes in the WNBA.
They put a super team around Caitlin Clark because people want to play with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
The Chicago Sky, they look perhaps worse than they were a year ago because people don't want to play with Angel Reese.
Caitlin Clark isn't just drawing in fans, she's attracting talent. And in sports, that's a rare kind of gravity. The Indiana Fever didn't have to roll out a flashy campaign, boast a championship pedigree, or sell players on a glamorous city. They had Caitlin Clark, and that was enough. Because in free agency, the decision isn't always about dollars. It's about the bigger picture: culture, chemistry, and trust. Trust that the person beside you knows how to compete, how to lead, and how to lift a team to the next level. Caitlin, she checks every one of those boxes. Zoom out. And Jason Whitlock's commentary isn't really just about Clark versus Reese, it's about what's next for the WNBA. Teams aren't just chasing stats anymore, they're building around presence, around impact, around stars who can move the needle beyond the court, and Caitlin Clark is the prototype. She's hungry, humble, and headline-worthy, a modern franchise cornerstone in every sense. So if you're a GM looking to breathe life into a struggling team, ask yourself, do you want the player who gets booed in rival arenas, or the one who turns every game into a sellout? That's the heart of Whitlock's point. Strip away the noise and what remains is clear. People don't just want to watch Caitlin Clark, they want to join her. And in a league still expanding its reach, that kind of magnetism might just be the most valuable asset of all. Sometimes it's not the stat sheet that tells the full story, it's who wants to play beside you. When stars start recruiting themselves, that's when you know you've got something truly special. In sports, there are two types of fame. There's basketball fame, earned through MVP trophies, clutch playoff moments, and unforgettable performances. And then there's cultural fame, the kind that breaks through to people who've never watched a game, the kind that puts you on cereal boxes, in classroom conversations, office break rooms, group chats, even on grandma's Facebook feed. Right now, Caitlin Clark lives in that rare air. She's not just playing, she's everywhere. Trending during NFL Sundays, dominating headlines on outlets that barely mention the WNBA unless it's finals week. She's not doing it from New York or LA. She's not backed by a dynasty. She's on a rookie contract in Indiana, and yet she might be the most talked about basketball player in the country. That's why when Colin Cowherd, known for his bold takes but not for empty hype, weighed in, he didn't hold back. He dropped a truth bomb that echoed across the sports world.
How many NBA players are more famous than Caitlin Clark? LeBron, Steph, absolutely.
Maybe Durant.
That's what I put. I wrote down KD maybe.
Yeah.
In 1 year, out of women's basketball, for a horrible team when she arrived, outside of LeBron and Steph, she is the most well-known basketball player currently playing in the United States.
Now think about what Colin Cowherd actually said and what it means. In a league already filled with global icons, big brand stars, and multi-million-dollar marketing machines, Caitlin Clark ranks top 3 in name recognition. That sounds wild, but it's true. This isn't just about wins and losses. It's about who's shifting the culture. And Caitlin Clark is doing it faster than anyone we've seen in a generation. Cowherd didn't sound surprised. He sounded certain, like he was just saying what everyone with a screen and a pulse already knows. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing the game, she's reshaping the entire landscape around it. And what's even crazier, she's only getting started. So if you're still asking who's got next, not just in the WNBA, but in all of basketball, the answer isn't a question anymore. It's Caitlin. Because sometimes the biggest moments in sports don't come from titles or buzzer beaters. They come from friction. From two stars with different styles, different stories, clashing on the biggest stage. That's what happened when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese collided. Two forces with opposing energy, locked into the same spotlight. And, according to Jonathan Isaac, that tension, it's not a problem. It's the spark.
Because of the rivalry, because of Angel Reese, because of Caitlin Clark, has sparked an interest in women's basketball that wasn't completely there before. So I'm happy for that. And so I want to see it play out. I want to see them, continue to grow their careers and be the best female basketball players that they can be.
At first glance, it might sound like Jonathan Isaac is giving equal credit to both sides of the Clark-Reese rivalry. But let's be honest, the truth runs deeper. If Angel Reese had entered the WNBA without Caitlin Clark in the picture, it likely wouldn't have made national headlines. Her spotlight didn't arrive in isolation. It arrived standing next to Caitlin. The trash talk, the gestures, the fouls, none of it hit the same without Clark on the other side. Caitlin Clark didn't just play in those viral moments, she powered them. Without her, Reese is just another rookie trying to carve out space in a crowded league. With her, Reese became a trending topic, a symbol, a spark in a bigger story, and that story gave her career momentum. But here's the key difference. Caitlin Clark never needed Angel Reese to rise. She entered the league as a walking headline, record-breaking. Stats, a generational college run, and a loyal fan base that followed her to the pros. She didn't inherit attention. She commanded it. Clark made the WNBA must-watch TV. She pushed it into prime time, and all of that happened before this so-called rivalry even began. So yes, Jonathan Isaac is right to highlight the moment, but let's be clear, it was Caitlin Clark who made that moment matter. The spotlight on women's basketball is brighter than ever, but let's clear up one thing. It's not that the media is chasing Angel Reese first and then giving Caitlin Clark a glance. It's actually the opposite. Angel gets noticed because Caitlin Clark is already stealing the show. This isn't about two stars sharing the stage. It's a solo performance, and Caitlin Clark is the headliner. When people say rivalries boost the league, that's true, but the real spark was lit the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto a WNBA court. Every sport has its game changer. Magic and Bird for the NBA, Serena Williams for women's tennis, Conor McGregor for the UFC. Now Caitlin Clark is that defining force for the WNBA, and Rachel Dea didn't hesitate to say exactly why.
2024 was a year of unprecedented growth in viewership in the WNBA, a substantial amount of which can be attributed to Caitlin Clark, who took the basketball world by storm after an all-time college career.
This wasn't just a quick boost in stats. It was a full-on wave of success, game after game. Arenas that once struggled to fill even the lower sections were now bursting at the seams. Broadcasts that used to pull in just thousands of viewers suddenly attracted millions. Entire social media communities sprang up around highlights, interviews, and deep dives into Caitlin Clark's impact. And none of this happened by chance. It's not luck or perfect timing. It's Caitlin Clark's star power. From the moment she slipped on that Fever jersey, she didn't wait for the league to catch up. She brought the spotlight with her, changing the game from day one. The league felt different because she was different. Here's the truth. Every sport has those rare moments when talent meets the perfect moment in time. When a player doesn't just enter a league, they redefine it. Caitlin Clark is exactly that player. She came in as the most talked about female basketball player in years, fresh off one of the most legendary college careers ever. And she didn't just meet expectations, she blew them away, not only with her skills on the court, but with the way she carried the hopes and energy of an entire league. Without hesitation, Rachel Dea saw more than just a talented basketball player. She saw a breakthrough moment, a player who moves the needle. Whether you're cheering for Caitlin Clark or hoping she stumbles, you can't look away. For a league that's been waiting years for this kind of star to emerge, Caitlin didn't just show up, she exploded onto the scene, but it's not all applause. Not every highlight, every sold-out jersey, or every next face of the league headline has been met with open arms. Some of the pushback echoes what Megan Rapinoe hinted at. She didn't go on the offensive, but if you listen closely, the message is loud and clear.
You don't want to become the girl, the team, the coach, the player who cries wolf all the time. It's just like, I feel like sometimes it's just like constant. And like, to what end? And I think especially around the Fever team and especially around Caitlin, this has like been a thing. It was a thing last year. Like sometimes you just have to like play through it and like earn a little bit more respect.
This isn't about critiquing Caitlin Clark's jump shot. It's a deeper comment on how the spotlight and pressure are being handled. And maybe that's fair. Megan Rapinoe, who's faced her own share of intense scrutiny, probably recognizes the pattern. She's been there, under the brightest lights, taking hits from every angle. Maybe this was her way of sending a reality check. We've all been targets. You've got to learn to handle it, but there's more beneath the surface, a bit of friction. While Caitlin has definitely been targeted, both on and off the court and in the headlines, she's done something rare. She hasn't just survived the heat, she's thrived in it. Sure, she gets fouled hard, but she doesn't ask for sympathy. She faces every tough question, every elbow, every controversial headline, and keeps playing at the highest level. So when Rapinoe says, earn a little more respect, it makes you wonder, what else does Caitlin need to do? She's smashing records, lifting a team that's been struggling, carrying the league's media spotlight, all with a calmness and focus even seasoned pros sometimes can't match. This is a player demanding respect, not just with words, but with every move she makes on the court. Grace under pressure, that's the kind of presence Caitlin Clark brings every time she steps on the court. Megan Rapinoe's words carry weight. Every rising star needs to prove themselves, but if the standard is to push through the challenges and earn respect, Caitlin is already checking that box night after night. Every sport has its legends, the rare few who don't just dominate their era, but define it. Basketball has Michael Jordan, tennis has Serena Williams, soccer boasts Lionel Messi, hockey, that's Wayne Gretzky, the great one. He holds so many records that the NHL actually had to rethink how they track stats. Gretzky wasn't just better than his competition, he was in a league of his own. So when someone like Wayne Gretzky steps outside his sport and publicly praises an athlete like Caitlin Clark, it's not just a compliment, it's historic. His words carry meaning because he rarely gives praise, and almost never to just anyone.